Hi everyone. Today I'd like to talk about a question that's becoming more urgent every day. Is climate change affecting people's daily lives now? The short answer is yes. But this isn't just about rising temperatures or melting ice caps. It's about the food we eat, the air we breathe, the homes we live in, and the way we plan our future. Climate change is no longer a distant threat. It's already here. And it's changing our daily lives in powerful and sometimes painful ways. Let's break this down. First, let's talk about weather and natural disasters, because that's the most obvious sign. Around the world, we're seeing more extreme weather events than ever before. And they're becoming more frequent and more intense. In recent years, there have been record-breaking heat waves in Europe and Asia, massive floods in Pakistan and Germany, wildfires in Canada, the US, Australia, and even Greece. These events don't just make headlines, they disrupt lives. People lose their homes, their jobs, and even their lives. For example, in 2022, floods in Pakistan affected over 30 million people and caused over $30 billion in damages. And in the US, in California, wildfires have forced thousands of families to evacuate year after year. So yes, climate change is no longer a future scenario. It's already forcing people to change where they live, how they work, and how they survive. Now let's talk about something that affects all of us every single day: food. Climate change is putting pressure on food systems, from farming to grocery stores. Rising temperatures, unpredictable rainfall, and soil degradation are making it harder to grow crops. This leads to food shortages, higher prices, and even hunger in some regions. For example, coffee and chocolate, two things many people enjoy every day, are at risk. They come from specific climates that are becoming too hot or dry to support those crops. So not only are farmers losing their livelihoods, but consumers are also seeing changes in availability and price. In short, climate change is already on your plate. Let's not forget about health, something deeply personal and part of our everyday life. As temperatures rise, so do health risks. Heat waves lead to more heat stroke, dehydration, and even death, especially among the elderly, children, and people with existing health conditions. In addition, warmer climates help diseases spread faster. For instance, mosquitoes that carry diseases like dengue or malaria are moving into new regions, bringing new health threats. And air pollution, which is closely tied to emissions and climate change, is affecting people in cities everywhere. It's causing more asthma, allergies, and respiratory problems, especially in children. So yes, the climate crisis is now also a public health crisis. Some people might say, but I'm fine. I haven't noticed anything. That's fair, because the effects of climate change are uneven. Some people are being hit hard, while others feel less of an impact, for now. But the key word is for now. The changes are coming for all of us, maybe slowly but surely. And even if we aren't personally affected today, the systems we depend on are under pressure. Insurance companies are pulling out of disaster-prone areas. Energy grids are struggling to keep up during extreme weather. And governments are spending billions on climate-related damage instead of healthcare or education. It's also important to understand the emotional and psychological effects. There's even a term now: climate anxiety. More and more young people are feeling anxious or hopeless about the future because of the climate crisis. This affects their mental health, their career choices, and even decisions about whether to have children. This kind of worry isn't based on imagination, it's based on science, and it's based on what they're already seeing. At the same time, it's not all bad news. Yes, climate change is affecting our lives, but people are also adapting and fighting back. Farmers are switching to climate-resilient crops. Cities are building green infrastructure. People are changing their habits, using public transport, eating less meat, reducing waste, and demanding more from politicians and businesses. In fact, in some ways, climate change is pushing us to live more sustainably, which can have positive side effects. Cleaner air, more green spaces, healthier lifestyles, and stronger communities. So to answer the question clearly, yes, climate change is absolutely affecting people's daily lives right now. It's changing what we eat, how we work, where we live, and even how we feel about the future. And while the impacts are serious, we are not powerless. The decisions we make today, both as individuals and as a society, will decide how livable our future will be. Thank you for listening.